Hello, we are 1 hour outside of Abu Dhabi right now, and the outside air temperature at approximately 11 o'clock in the morning is 43 degrees Celsius, and the outside relative humidity is 11%. And so we are in a Cravo retractable flat roof cooling house that has stationary insect net inside. And so I want to just describe some of the key learnings from going into this hot season. So the first thing is that we want to look at the inside air temperature, and it's 39 degrees and 54% humidity. And so that is a 2 to 3 degree drop in temperature compared to outside. But most importantly, we've increased the relative humidity approximately 40%. So the current strategy is to retract the roof and the walls at night to try to cool the plant down and the ground down from these hot daytime temperatures. Yesterday they got over 45 degrees here. At 9:30 in the morning, they are closing the roof approximately 90% to block the direct sunlight and to try to increase the relative humidity. Now, one of the critical questions in the control strategy is always, should the walls be closed or retracted? Or when should they be closed or retracted? So you can see on this side here, the walls are completely open. And on this side, we have a approximately 45 centimeter opening in the bottom of the walls. And the simple rule of thumb is if my humidity is too high, I want to open the walls to have the wind blow in. But if I'm in a humidification strategy where I need to increase humidity, I need to close the walls in order to make sure that I'm not drying out the plants along the outside edge. Because if I've got 43 degrees outside and 12% humidity, these plants that are directly beside the outside wall are going to be transpiring a lot more than the plants in the center of the house. And we can see that these plants are shorter than when we move away from the wall, where these plants are now creating a microclimate. So in Abu Dhabi, we always think of it as a very humid place, and they can have periods of really high humidity. And in those situations, you want the walls to be open when I have a risk of excessive humidity, because the wind will help move the air across the plant to increase transpiration and help reduce the chance of foliar disease. But the moment the humidity drops too much, I will be running into a problem of these plants drying out and reducing yield, size, and quality. This is a very common mistake because people think if they open the walls, they'll get more air coming in the house, which will help cool it down. But when you have high temperatures of that plus 40 degrees, you must maintain a high relative humidity. And so people will make the mistake of opening a wall when it's dry outside, thinking they're going to cool it down, but they're actually losing humidity and causing excessive transpiration. The next question is, how far do we close the roof when we close it? And so when we are in a period of high radiation here, we can see that these plants are in direct sunlight right now, and we were reading fruit temperatures of plus 40 in direct sun. And so the challenge is we want to have the right balance between air exchange inside to outside. So if I retract the roof more, I'm going to have more air exchange, which will help reduce the humidity inside and give us more evaporative cooling. But then we have the risk of getting excessive transpiration and sunburn on the fruit, because if the opening's too wide, the fruit temperature is going to get too hot and we will lose quality. Consequently, the best practice would be to have a strip of, say, 50% black shade cloth that's approximately 2 meters wide, installed below the insect net to help reduce the heating up of the plants directly in the path of direct sunlight. This is extremely important midday when the sun is directly overhead and hitting the same plants for an extended period of time.